This is how I do asynchronous pacing in the PACE 203. I'm currently set up to VVI mode pacing, so VVI at 90 beats a minute, 8 volts output with a sensitivity of 1. And you see down here where I've chosen VVI, there's a subcategory below it which says asynchronous ventricular pacing, so no sensing at all. So to get from VVI to VOO, all I need to do is take my sensitivity, increase it to infinity, which effectively turns it off, and I do that by rotating the small control by the side. If I'm going to go to asynchronous mode, I do need to be pacing at higher rates in order to prevent R on T episodes. So I'm going to unlock and take my sensitivity, I'll come this way, all the way to the top, and you can see I'm at 3, 4, 5, 12, 20, and then I go one more and then it turns off at the top. I'm now VOO pacing at a relatively high rate, and that's confirmed here with pacing. There's no sensing at all. If I want to bring VVI back, I just bring back sensitivity down to wherever we were before, which I think was 1. I can do the same thing in the atrium. So if I choose AAI mode pacing, again you want to be pacing at a relatively high rate. I'm pacing here at 5 volts. I'm sensing at 1.0, and if I want to go to asynchrony in the atrium, I just change my atrial sensitivity all the way to the top, which is 19, 20, and one more, and then it turns it off, and my mode then changes to AOO. To bring it back, you just bring the sensitivity back all the way down to wherever you left it, which I think was at 1. So if I want to do the same thing in DDD, I can do the same thing. I can bring my ventricular sensitivity up to infinity, my atrial sensitivity up to infinity, and the mode will change to DDD. But a very quick way of doing it is just to press the emergency button, and it puts a high rate of pacing in place, DOO, no sensing in the atrium, no sensing in the ventrium. My voltages are very high, so I might want to bring those down a bit. Take the voltage in the atrium down to 5, my voltage in the ventricle down to 8, and I have DOO in the PACE 203. So if I want to bring sensitivities back, I tend to bring them back in the ventricle first. So I just return this back down to 1, which is where it was. And of course, if I've got no sensing in the atrium, I'm just pacing in the ventricle, I am in DVI mode. Bring the sensitivity down in the atrium, back down to 1, and I am back in DDD. So that's asynchronous pacing, not a mode that you leave a patient in for any length of time because of the obvious dangers of R on T, but is nevertheless useful in theatres when you're using diathermy and you don't want to be sensing the diathermy by the pacemaker.